I'm suddenly shy to do my intro because there's someone else here. So, man, do this. Van, why are you squeezing your face now?
Because you can't even. We have a guest. You can't even. What a shame. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages,
Thank you.
mademoiselle et monsieur, comment ça va? What else are we doing? Bonjour, hola.
Bonjour.
Hola, hola, hola. Ekaro, this good morning.
Yes,
How do you say good
Ah,
morning in Benin, Brandon?
wait. So it's not Eka. Oh, son is afternoon, Eka son.
Yeah, with
Yeah, in Bidi, you said based on the family you form, so we'll say Lamogu.
La Mogun. That's for her. La Mogun. What's the Ghanaian one? Etisei. Etisei.
Etiseng,
Etisha.
yeah. Yeah,
Etisei.
yeah, yeah.
So come on, polyglots in the building. Anyway, so
Well,
yes, welcome to another episode of Banter and Belief with B and Van and B. Today's a special day because we have a guest. We have a lovely guest that I'm so excited is on here. So, guest, reveal yourself and introduce yourself to our listeners. Tell them your name and a brief intro about yourself.
Hello everyone. My name is Ore. What do I do? I'm a yapper, so that's why I'm here. Um, I'm a lawyer, and I love Jesus. I find introducing myself so awkward because I'll ask me anything outside, I can yap, but introducing yourself is so awkward for me.
It
So I think
always
that's
is.
that's me in 3 words.
All right. So I guess okay. So what we normally do with our guests is we try to play a game called This or That, just to try to get to know you better, and then we'll get into how your week was. So this or that, quick fire. Don't think about it too much. Don't think about it too much. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Old Testament or New Testament?
New Testament.
Come on. NIV or KJV?
Hey, can't you have NKJV because NIV is a bit
My girl. Yeah, we'll go with
NKJV.
Yeah,
Okay.
same. Worship night in church or Bible study at home?
Oh, worship night.
mm.
I love worship.
Oh yeah, she sings. You sing, don't you?
I do sing.
Yes, she
I'm in
does
the
sing.
choir
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Lovely voice she has.
Something about that.
Let's see. Gospel brunch or evening prayer walk?
So
You
what's
won't
a
catch me
gospel?
out. You won't catch me outside my house past 6 p.m. So gospel brunch.
Nice. Love it. Cardio or weightlifting?
Oh, I cardio.
Ah,
You
really?
Yeah, I like because sometimes when you're sore, you don't have motivation to even go back. At least cardio, you're even increasing lung capacity. You live longer, please.
Oh, okay, fair. Anything past treadmill is not for me. I'm so sorry. All right. Ha ha ha. Tea with Jesus or coffee with Paul?
Oh, that's hard. Because I have a lot of questions for Paul, actually. I have a lot of questions for
No.
Paul. But tea with Jesus, because I really loved, if you read the Gospels, Jesus is my guy. Like,
What a
I would
man.
say tea with Jesus. I
And
know,
this man stayed crashing out,
honestly.
but warranted. You see the day he
Yeah,
flipped tables, I said, who am I not to flip tables when people are moving funny? Who am I?
exactly.
Anyway, let's get back to your questions. Suits and courtrooms or sweats and sermons?
Sweat and sermons, because I know my job. I don't even go to the courtrooms.
Fair,
I'm not
fair.
even.
Ah.
I'm a lawyer, but I don't go to the courtroom, so I like to be comfortable.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Highlighting your Bible or journaling your prayers?
Can I have both? I do both.
The game is called This or That.
Oh Jesus. Oh, okay. I would say journaling my prayers.
Nice. All right, we've got two more. Christian TikTok or quiet time with no phone?
Hey, quiet time with no phone, please.
And finally, soft life Sundays or serve at church Sundays?
Soft life Sundays.
Come
Because
on.
sometimes it's so stressful. Like, and people will be getting on
Girl,
your nerves in church. Like, please,
girl.
I'm here to be with Jesus. Leave me alone.
Fair. So, how was your week?
Wait, sorry.
Did you,
What's a Christian brunch? You said
Oh,
Christian brunch.
I've been to one of those actually, and
Is it not just a brunch?
it's a brunch with gospel in the background.
it's
But you know,
basically, yeah, go on.
as Christians, sometimes I
We need
got
to put the tag.
We talked about
you,
this last week, did we not? Where they like put a Christian tag on everything, so by default they feel as though you need to not last week, but a few weeks ago, where it was like you put Christian on something, so by default we
by
now have to
default,
tag
yeah,
it. I'm a Christian influencer. I'm a Christian fashion artist. Are you not just making clothes with no cleavage? You've now tend to.
not close with no
Dead.
cleavage. No, but it's a brunch with Christians with gospel in the background. Some alcohol might be involved, but as
Proverbs
Christians,
31 woman, a
you
virtuous
Fair
know,
enough.
woman,
sprinkle.
modesty. Ugh.
Modesty.
I don't try to do such. I'm so sorry. It's such a turn off. I'm so sorry. Let's go for a Christian ladies brunch. What is it? Last you're playing Kim Burrell in the background, and we're all wearing blazers, and we're all, nah,
Not
I
bla-
can't,
not
I
blazers,
can't, I
not blazers,
can't.
not
Wait, so what do
blazers,
you
not
want? Spaghetti top or
Last is Ruth find your Boaz. What's that
ah.
other one? Proverbs 31 woman and the stuff. And my favorite, Esther, an appointment with the king.
Oh no, let me
I'm
not.
no, feel free. Feel free.
Anna,
You had the
please.
comment, something crossed your
No,
mind there.
no, because I'm just like I think we we romanticized Esther, because
Girl,
Esther was what was Esther? She was not reading to the king at night. Please, I think I was telling my sister. I was telling my sister this because I think when we were younger, of course, you keep it PG-13, Night with the king, she was reading the scroll to the king. But now you're older. Do you think somebody that was in a harem would be reading to the king that forcefully said all the virgins must come to my house to be the queen? Like, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. But I digress.
all I know is even with the whole Ruth and Boaz. First of all, Ruth was a widow. Second of all, Boaz was old. Do you know that man was an old man?
I think
I
he
think it
died
was
soon after, wasn't it? Like he
Uh-huh.
didn't stay too
Okay.
long.
So you people who always like doing all these prayers, I need you to first of all read your Bible from
read your
Genesis to
Bible properly.
Revelation before you start tapping into what you don't want to tap into. You want to be David, you want to be Solomon. Do you want to have an Absalom as a child? Is that what you want? Is that what you
Oh
want?
my,
So be
not
careful
gonna.
for the prayers you pray. Just say,
No,
God, touch my heart. I keep it moving, please.
no,
Absalom as
even
a
me, like,
child.
even with the Proverbs 31 woman, because you're not gonna lie, me, I saw waking up at 5 a.m., waking up early. I said, no, no, I'm sorry. That is not the life I want. Like, promise
She
she
wakes
will
up at
cook,
the crack of dawn. Okay.
she will cook for the whole household. She's sewing, like, and her husband is at the gates. That's the only thing it said. So you're running a whole household and your husband is at the gates. Who wants to
Oh,
be
so
doing that?
it was like a security person then. No, it's not at the gate of like the
Not
when they come into the city.
Yeah, so he was well respected, He was having chats with the
Oh
chief that not security.
no, I thought it as a soldier that's
Chris
like
said he's a gate man, please.
Gate
no, I
man.
didn't say gate man. Abba.
It's not it's
He would have been like
no
a soldier,
no not a
stationed.
soldier. Like he was
Oh,
he
okay,
was an
okay,
he
okay.
was chatting with the elders, he was with the big men, but no security.
Oh
He's a big guy.
no, please. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it like that.
No,
But
but
anyway,
yeah,
like, let's just be careful about what we're praying for, please. Because when you read the Bible, sometimes you're like, but
actually,
I don't want that.
let's
I
be
don't want
I,
it. Like, let's
no.
be real. Like, maybe you say, I want the wisdom of Solomon. No, I want to be Solomon.
No, because Solomon was how many wives and concubines?
I
How will
mean,
you not
even
be
He was
confused then?
the
How will your
ending
life
of
even end
Solomon,
well? How will your life end well when there's women that plot like okay, imagine you
bunch
have
of women.
700 wives and 300 concubines. You're telling me that they're not people who are swearing for you when the moon is full and saying, this man, after all I gave him, he still brought another 699 women. Wherever you are, from generation to generation, you think the women are not cussing you. Now imagine 699 women cussing.
So he needs to
Nah,
do at
sorry.
least 3 dates every day to like
Eh,
see them. see each person at least once in
Was
the year.
Solomon young? Please, I'm sorry. Uncle just wanted them
No,
there for sure. And let's not
he
forget
didn't
the
have
what's her
peace. He
name?
didn't have peace.
Yeah, it was not
Nah.
political as well, innit? Like it was just
It wasn't.
acquiring.
Last,
It
he
wasn't
said don't
wrong.
slash the baby in half. What else?
Ah,
Okay.
that was wisdom.
Yeah, that's the gift God gave him. He was wise, but he was in the streets. He was in
Wise.
a shower.
I
Uh-huh.
It
mean,
wasn't wise than shower.
Uh-huh.
he is the son of David. I mean,
Yeah, to be fair, the
So
father
I
like
did
son.
even okay. Can we even
wait,
can we
isn't he
even
the
just
one birthed out
oh
of?
ho oh ho oh
Yeah, like
ho
father like son.
look at how you came into this world. How are you even gonna have anyway? Oseze, Brandon, best. How was your week? What did you do last week?
Oh yeah, we went to a wedding. It was Dami's wedding. Our friend got married. Shout out Dami.
That
Dammy
sounds
Um,
so.
baby with the body.
That's nice. I'm waiting for all my friends. This is an indirect to my friends. I was telling my mom, like, I've not invited to any wedding this year. My friends, I don't know what you
uh,
people are doing, but everybody needs to start now. Hello, marry. Go and marry. Please. I want to shake a
Where
leg.
will you marry?
I already have an invite for October. I wouldn't be surprised if there's one more before the end of the year. I would not be surprised. Van, Van, Van. So, isn't it you that said you married this year? Why are you looking sideways?
Will it be this year or the next year?
Will you be single forever?
So
Where
I don't
will
know.
you
I don't know why
marry?
you're looking sideways.
Nah.
But yeah, no.
What God
After
cannot do does not exist now.
the wedding was really good. It was good to be part of the wedding somewhat. We helped out with like the music and the hymns. So me and Blessy were we're doing like the lyrics and the sound stuff. So the music that would play when she comes in. And the Reverend lady came and was like, "So do you have the music for the hymns when we're singing the hymns?" And me and Blessy were like, We were just told walk in music, walk out, display him on the screen." So we're trying to find like instrumentals, and we're just like, "Bless you, you'd have to lead the hymns." So
And he did so well.
yeah, he did really well. So
Oh,
He
that's
did
yeah.
so
good.
well. I was beaming with pride. I'm like, my friend. No, but it was really good.
So
And then tell them your shenanigans at the reception now. Don't hide. It's Google on
okay,
the
so
internet.
What were you getting into?
no. So they started like after the formalities and the DJ is going to start playing. There was no hype man,
Oh, so
and
you're a designated hype man.
everybody
He
was just
wasn't
standing around.
designated. He went there and took the mic.
I literally walked up to the DJ and I was like, "Yeah, just give me the mic."
But
Even
he
the
smashed it,
MC was
man.
still around actually, and the MC was looking at me. I was just like, "Yeah, just hand it over." And because everybody was just standing around, it's awkward when the bride and groom have so much energy,
And everyone else is like
everybody
dead.
is just doing the normal. They're looking at them. I'm like, no.
See, is it like the family or like the friend? Because if your friends are lit, then everyone else would have to. But if your family is like conservative and there's a lot more family members than your friends, then I get that.
No, I think it was a balance. At this point, some of the family members had left,
Yeah.
so there was a lot
Ah,
more friends.
I
But
think it's
once they were hyped up, once they had someone like
like
energizing
you.
them,
I got 10,000
hire
steps on
me.
that dance floor. Yeah. Like,
So why were
because I don't even dance at weddings, but
Why?
I was
for
like,
someone that doesn't dance at wedding was the volunteer person to go do a dance competition.
I did volunteer. They
Van was
pushed me
doing
to the front.
dance off against the other groom. Van, I expected more, Sha. I can't lie. I'm
No,
just
I will
saying.
shake a leg at a wedding. I will actually.
You expected more, so your people can go back to that place and go and tell them that I was twerking on the dance floor. Please, I had to keep
Hey,
it. I had to keep it cute.
To which
keep
place?
it.
The place in
Do you,
Nottingham. Just to clarify. Oh, okay.
Hey.
I had to keep it cute. Did you not see how my dancing changed when they left? Please let me know.
Oh
Hey.
my days.
It's not like I was doing anything bad, but I don't want
Wait,
anyone
who
to.
is there? Were people there that
A whole table. Did she not come and say hi to you and everything?
Who? No.
Brandon is so confused. Like who?
Who?
We'll talk. We'll
He,
talk. But anyway,
it's not
Oh, I
remembering.
was
It's not
so
remembering.
oblivious to what was going on. I was
we
just
know
on
why.
my.
We know why you were oblivious, don't we? We know why you don't remember anything, don't we?
Okay,
Uncle Best.
first of all, I was not drunk. I didn't. Me and
Hey,
Shubi just
were you
drank a little bit.
participating in ungodly
How many?
activities?
Well, anyway, that's your business.
I
For
actually didn't
me,
drink.
though, because
Come to think
I
of it.
didn't drink because I don't drink anyway. But basically, guys, congratulations to my girl, my
Shout out to Dami.
my Shayla.
Whoop,
Like
She
whoop,
looked
this
really
girl,
whoop,
good.
like she looks fantastic. Like guys, let me first of all, because I knew when they met, right? So it was like, please. So it was
Every
so
day you must
it was
remind
so no,
us.
because like I have very few friends where you know how like there's a difference when you know your friend introduces you to their man and says, "Oh, this person I'm dating, or this person I'm speaking to." I only have two friends where I knew them before they started dating. So I
Ah,
literally like saw it. It was so beautiful, and those are the only two weddings I've ever cried at because it hits different. I'm telling you. And I remember, obviously, we got our makeup done and everything. And then we went to the room because we got ready. We got our makeup done in her house, but then she got ready at the hotel. So we went to her hotel to do like the whole box, robe, everything. So when we got there, at first I walked in. First of all, I already told us on this podcast that her skin is like buttermilk. Now imagine her made up, glistened up. This girl looks like an angel. I remember I walked in the room and she looked breathtakingly beautiful. And then
oh,
this goat now decides that, oh, I want to, because she had 4 bridesmaids. So she's like, I want to give you guys your boxes one by one. I said, first of all, why? So by the time she gave the first bridesmaids, that one started praying. Oh. So she now started welling up and everything. I said, God, please now. And I was number 3. I said, okay, cool. I just said, don't look at me. I just walked. I remember I walked towards her with like my face down like this, stood next to her, didn't look at her. She gave me my box and then she's like, Van, thank you so
tears,
a bloody
tears,
mess, man. And then I said, okay,
tears.
I held. I said, let me go to the corner. I now made an error of opening the box and reading the card she put in this thing. That was it. And I was like, I was a mess. And then these content creators and videographers had the audacity to not come in my face, trying to capture the moment. I said, well, like, what is this? And then when we started crying, she lost it. And then they had to like practically redo her makeup. She lost it. She like, I don't even care. I don't love you guys so much. But it was just like, because Dami is such an amazing person. Like, you know, like you're happy for your friends, but there's some people that you just want to see win so bad. Like you just
Yeah,
want their
I feel you.
happiness so bad. And she's one of those friends of mine. She's my sister, man. I love you so much. We're like, what, almost 12 years friends? She is an amazing person. So I love you, girl. And she listens to this podcast. Every week she listens, she gives me a review. Like, guys, you said this, I love this. Like, you guys are funny. So love you, girl. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
All
Oh,
right, how was
that's
your
it.
week?
How was your week?
I've
Yeah, we're just here
I've
talking.
not done anything this week. I've been off work
Oh,
for a bit, so I've not really done
Oh,
anything. Yeah, but see, that's why I yap a lot because I don't even do anything. I don't mean doing it apart from work. I do have to pick up some things, shopping. Yeah, I'm trying to plan ahead, but I've not really done anything. Next week, I'm going back to work, so it's just like
gosh.
yeah.
I
Sorry.
c-
Now I feel
I,
that
c- I
pain.
can't I can't I can't do this.
I,
This
I can't I can't publicly state that allegedly I didn't do anything this week as well after the
Mm.
wedding. I was signed in though. Just in case
Oh,
they're listening. I did things. I
But
got
the
some work
wedding,
you
the
done.
wedding was very like the wedding was a lot.
no,
Oh,
being
It
in
was
a
a lot for you
wedding.
guys.
No, being a bridesmaid is heavy. Like the sleep
Yeah.
you sleep after. Like even a family wedding. My brother got married last year, and I was just like sister of the group. I didn't even have to do, but it's a lot.
it's a
So
lot. It is like I don't. That's why I always tell people: feel free to decline because what I don't I've been. I haven't been on a train where the bridesmaids haven't gone in, but I'm friends with people who have been on the train where the bridesmaids just said yes because of aesthetics. Like the bride was stressed because the bridesmaids weren't doing anything. There was
Weren't
one
doing
wedding,
anything.
like half the bridesmaids went to go and follow man. It was so funny.
Hey.
And the groomsmen, for some reason, what is wrong with groomsmen?
They only know how to dance and jump. They don't
only
be
know how
doing
to
anything.
dance. There was a wedding I was part of. The groomsmen missed the reception entrance because they went to go buy booze. I'm not joking.
No, to be fair, I have seen it like a lot of weddings I've been to, and I've known the groomsmen. That's what they want to do. They only come to drink.
Honestly,
They only come to drink and jump.
another one. They turned up drunk. They wore sunglasses for like the first 3 hours of the wedding because they were hung over.
No,
They
I
came
would be so
they came
pissed
from the
off.
club. Entire suits came to the wedding. I'm not joking.
No,
It was a
not
mess.
the club.
The
Not
club. The club.
No, I would be
All
so
right?
pissed off. Because if you go to a Yoruba wedding and they're spraying money, all of us, the bridesmaids, you not be bending down, picking up money. That's what you do. And then you just see from the corner of your eye, somebody just jumping, and shouting. You would be so pissed off. Like you
Just
would be,
doing
you're
obले. Like there are things to do. Why is the groom driving anywhere? Why is the bride driving anywhere? Where are your people? Like I've been to enough weddings to know that groomsmen, you need to step up your game, man. For real.
they do.
You need to
Because
step up
I
your
think,
game.
to be fair, I think it's because we kind of allow it. Like we know, like we are picking money, drying the bread. Now, even me, from now, I'm not picking any money. I'll just be
I didn't
shuffling
pick
my feet.
money, oh.
Somebody
My
else do
friend,
it.
my
Or
friend,
get
she nominated her niece and nephew to pick money, and that was all
yeah,
they did.
get
Her
somebody
friends didn't pick a
designated.
thing. We didn't pick anything. She just said, "You guys." She gave them bags, and they did such a good job. Her money was
Although,
intact.
Van, you did drop the ball at one point because I was hyping Odogu Parara on the dance floor and he came to spray me dollars.
I wasn't even
But
on the
still,
dance floor.
you were, but I cannot bend down to pick the dollars he was spraying me. You have to maintain steeze.
When you told
my
me
dollars
after, I didn't even see you get sprayed.
Did somebody steal your dollars? Was
But I
it gone?
sprayed you
No,
now. Did I not spray you?
he went to Dami and Hannah Groom. No, but like there was a guy who was like, dressed in the Igbo attire, and I was like, Odogu Parara. So I was hyping him up, and he came to spray me. I was like, oh, but then I was like, can I bend down to pick this money? Or so I had to leave it.
That's awkward.
Yeah, I was on my Shegun Johnson vibe, and
Shuma know where you're done. Shuma know where you're done. Shuma know where you're done. I'm going to Niger in 2 weeks, guys. Listen.
Van, after seeing that wedding. Wait, alright, you've not been online. Do you know about Iyabo's daughter getting married?
Yeah, my sister and my mom, they've been feeling the gossip
Listen,
central.
People were spraying bundles,
After seeing that wedding, I'm like, Van,
I wish it could be me.
I need to come
I need to set my money up.
Look, after seeing that, I'm like, Van, I might need to come to your mom's birthday party. If that's
Even
how
the way we're planning that
that's
party,
how Yoruba people get down.
I said, but I was like, Mom, I'm gonna she's like, you're gonna spray out you. I said, yeah. She's like, I'm gonna maybe get some like 1,000 bundles, some 500 bundles. She's like, you're not spraying dollars. What was that?
Momsy,
like
calm
no,
down,
like joke. All of us, she said we have to spray. Like even if we're going to spray, we have to spray her dollars. My mom is not even spraying naira. I said, Mom,
it's her birthday. Why is she spraying?
She wants to spread the Olori now so you can hype her and then people will come and spray her money.
Oh.
When she told me the guest list, I said, okay, you have put me inside trouble. Because
I need to be there, fam.
I bought your filler, so if you like, don't come. I haven't told her you're not coming yet,
Give her a heads up, or on the day now she'll be like, why is it not
here?
here?
Last minute, he said he's not coming.
He's not coming.
Give her a heads up, please.
Anyway, before, Oreka, you see, we're how many minutes in now? Rubbish. What does it?
No, but that's how things. Once you start talking, segue to segue.
But I really want us to cover today's topic because it might segue into that other thing that we were talking about.
Van, just say you want to talk about it.
No, let's do what we came to do first, and then if I say something, and then we can segue to the other segue.
Sure.
Oh my God!
Don't worry.
I just remember that
we must.
Part of the reason this topic came up is also because of another pastor. That was where I got the idea.
Was it not even this pastor as well?
No, the COS situation.
Why
is it always my own part?
You see,
Anywho.
But they're okay.
Behave.
So basically, so in the past few weeks, we've kind of slowly but surely touched on, values as Christians, what we think is right, what we think is wrong, where we draw the line, who dictates what is right. And, Bill and I were talking about it. Actually, we need to do like a sin versus crime episode, because sometimes as Christians, obviously we're Christians, but we're also citizens of the world. We're citizens of the UK, for example, or we're habitants of the UK. And so we're bound by a lot of like rules and legislations and stuff like that. But sometimes we as Christians tend to find ourselves as like judge, jury, and executioner. And sometimes you have to pause and say, but it's not a crime now. Like, okay, like
who's going to beat
who's
me?
going to beat me?
Yeah.
For real. Like, I've done this. Okay, you could say it's a sin, but is it a crime? And is it even a sin? Because some of you guys have, inadvertently imposed your preferences and your cultural beliefs on us and termed it a sin. And you look at the Bible and you go, well, technically, is it a sin? So we're going to talk about it. We're gonna dissect this, and we wanted to do this with the law present, so we don't get in trouble. So we're gonna use a lot of allegedlys.
Please, people of God, this is a lot of allegedlys. This is not a permission for you to commit crime. This is not for you to be. This is not permission for you to be doing things on the streets. Already didn't say anything that you should.
No,
please just
wait.
hear, please.
Because we can start with this. Like, for example, divorce is not a crime, is it?
Divorce is not a crime,
and there is a space in the Bible for you to be allowed to be divorced.
It's not a sin either.
Yes, it's not a sin. I think a lot as a Nigerian Christian. Let me just preface this. This is what I've seen in a Nigerian church. If your church doesn't do this, please don't know and go and say, "But my church, I've never experienced it." You have not experienced it, but I have. Okay. In the church I went to growing up until I was like. Brandon went to that church till it was about 20 something, and when the topic of divorce came up, the verse that people used to bring up is God hates divorce. And you could technically say if something is something God hates, it's a sin. But then Jesus, as in Jesus, said a woman can divorce if there's adultery. So for me, it's just like, if Jesus has said a woman can divorce if there's adultery, why do we now term it as a sin? So I think divorce is not a sin, but the first option would not be to divorce. But me, I'm to divorce. For me in this household, I'm team divorce.
I'm right behind you, my sis. I'm right behind you.
See, I do agree with obviously the first option is not to divorce. And in growing up in an African home, when you're trying to unlearn certain things, it feels so foreign to the body to be like, I'm fine with divorce. It just feels so foreign because you're having to unlearn this thing that that you've been taught the whole time. Another one, and this is men, is actually a sin. No, it's actually a crime to be married to two people in certain countries.
Yes.
And I don't think some guys actually know that is actually a crime. So even before you get to, is it a sin? Does God not like it? Is actually
it's very much illegal to be married to more than one person, and especially in the UK.
but that one is it. That one is this. That's theft now. That's both a sin and
a crime.
Okay, so is stealing not also doing things with someone else's partner? Okay, are you not stealing? What's stealing? Stealing is taking something that's not your own.
Wait, that's a good one. Is cheating?
It's not illegal. Adultery is not a crime. Fornication is not a crime. And we see inside the Bible, adultery, fornication is a sin. But even Christians participate in that. So,
well, yeah, that's that one's actually not.
Yeah, it's because I think we always see is like I can't govern individuals' morals. So before, cheating used to be a crime, adultery used to be illegal, but it's no longer any. Yeah. In certain countries, for example,
that's where the word concubine came from. Like, because she's or mistress. She's recognized. Doesn't mean that the wife is happy, but the wife is like, she's not hidden.
Yeah, like,
I never
and
knew it was ever a
yeah,
crime.
in adultery was a crime to say. I can't look at me. I didn't do family law, please. But yeah, adultery was a crime until a certain point in history. The same way marital rape was not illegal till the 90s. So and that so you see,
Oh.
yeah, so a lot of things we don't know, lawyer, not lawyer. So there are things we say, like, I can't tell you, like, for example, drinking. As a Christian, Paul says don't get drunk.
Mm.
I can't personally govern a Christian it's not illegal. So who is going to beat me? The police won't beat me unless I cause like a disturbance. Who is going to beat me because I got drunk? Jesus is the only one that will flog you, but
All I know is
Mm.
that there's a certain wedding that I went to, and I saw a certain group of people who are very, very particular about this whole as a Christian, as a Christian, as a Christian. And I saw them queuing at the bar. So I'm just there like, I was able to, I would tap my friend. I said, look at them.
maybe
Look at
they were
them.
drinking water at the bar now. Orange juice, apple juice.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
appetizer, little
sparkling wine.
appetizer
So
here.
Yeah.
the soft drinks and the Flemish that we put on the table was for what?
Decorations.
Ah, okay.
I think the one I want to figure out is like what's a crime that's not a sin per se. And then if we get into Christians doing businesses, because like I said, so
Yeah.
this the first time the question came up in my head was it's news out there, but it's weird for me to talk about because when this goes out, the
Speak on
Facebook people would know
it.
who I'm talking about. But there was a whole big COS scandal, and turns out that it's a thing that multiple people were taking part of, and there was
My
a
cousin was a victim, by the way, twice.
Wait, what is a COS? I'm
So
sorry, I feel so
a
slow.
COS is a certificate of
certificate of
sponsorship
sponsorship.
that people who get, like, they come, like, for example, someone comes from Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, wherever, on a
On a work
student
visa,
visa
let's
or
Yeah.
say,
work visa or
yeah.
something. So they get a certificate of sponsorship where that kind of helps them with an application to get like a work
Yeah.
permit of some
So
sort.
if a company in the UK is going to hire someone
Oh
who
yeah.
the company has to get a certificate of sponsorship that they would sponsor the person working
Before
and
the
living here
Hmm.
legally. The the rule is actually the company is not allowed to sell or charge the person they're hiring for that
mm-hmm.
certificate. So I can't say,
Yeah.
oh, I want to hire you, but I have to pay the
I have to
government six
pay.
thousand. So you give
Hmm.
me the
And
6,000.
that's why they take the responsibility, because they are paying for that
They are paying for it,
cause.
which is why also
Yeah.
a lot of companies are reluctant to do
To do
that
that, yeah.
because there's been a huge increase in international or immigrant workers who are not like illegal immigrants, but like migrants who come to work, and the UK, a lot of companies didn't even know about UK companies did it because they've not had to deal with it. But once we had the influx of migrants and other parts, so companies are having to learn, and they're just like, I don't want to deal with the paperwork now. So people who have businesses decided that they would sell it to the people they are going to offer a job, which is a loophole in like the system, right? So they
Yeah. It's
then,
not
yeah, but you're not supposed to. So they'll be like,
y-
pay me £10,000 and
and
I'll
then
offer
I'll
you
give
a
you
job.
spend yeah.
And someone overdid it, of course, wasn't able to provide everybody they gave it to the working hours. So you then left people stranded. And even I think last time or 2 weeks ago, we spoke about like Christians and doing business and the standard in which they do their businesses, as well
Yeah.
as the morality behind it. For example, someone we know here is buying stocks from Elon Musk, even though she says she doesn't agree with the values of Elon Musk. Van, I guess it's not a crime, but where does your morality, your faith then
Comes
intertwine with
into
like
play, yeah.
being maybe like a shoddy businessman, or is it maybe you're clever if you're bending the rules but
Or
not
people
breaking
who
it?
like source their materials for their apparel from places where people are being paid peanuts so they can get maximum profit, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I ain't never
Yeah.
done that.
I think.
Alright, did I call anyone's name? You're
I
very
always feel
annoying.
like you're trying to
Are you
have
telling?
a dig
Are
at
you
me.
telling on yourself?
We literally had a
No,
whole,
no, no,
thank
no,
you.
no.
We literally had a whole episode on sustainable clothing. Like, why would you think I'm talking to you?
Sorry, maybe I need to call my therapist again.
If the shoe,
I have
if the
to,
shoe
I have
fits, wear it
to.
and strut down the runway, please. Leave me alone.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, as someone who like studied law but as a Christian, where do you think like the gray line is? I'm not saying teach us how
Hey.
to make sure our morals are right, but at the same time we can bend the laws, or should we be?
We shouldn't be bending the laws, please. You're opening your mouth on the
But
interweb.
we're not breaking. Like
You're not
people
breaking.
evade tax, for example. Is it tax? Not tax evasion is not a. Is it the evasion that's not a crime? Which one is not a crime?
At this point, I don't even remember because
Yeah,
everybody's just
so there's like
everybody. Yeah, to
tax
be honest,
evasion, but it's not morally
it's
right, is
not
it?
more. No, but you have accountants that will help you pay the least amounts of tax. So that
Mm,
is not illegal. But I think as Christians, we do need to uphold standards that Jesus has set for us. We can't say just because it's not illegal doesn't mean, because at the end of the day, we don't answer to we don't answer to Prince Charles. We answer to God. And when the trumpets sound and you're in front of him, are you going to say it was not the law of the land say I could do it, God? So I did it anyway. And I
So
think
you,
we
but it does say I can do it though, and the Bible says to obey the law of the land. So, and if it's
well, the
not
law
a
of the
direct
land says a
sin
lot
in
of
the
things that goes against
that
God, you know.
you can't that's again what I'm saying. The law of the land, yes, Jesus says give to what Caesar is due to Caesar and give to God what's due to God. Yeah, obey the law of the land. But remember that at the end of the day, your ultimate answer, the ultimate person you're answering is to God.
Mm,
If God is not pleased with that, why would I want to compromise my salvation just because it's not illegal? Do you get what I mean? Like being a
Mm.
deadbeat is not illegal. Like anybody in this you can not look after your child, and nobody is going to, actually some people might beat you up, but the law is not going to, like, it's not against the
mm,
law. Do you get what I mean? You can have multiple children and not look after them, and that can be fine. Like it might be bending the law, but at the end of the day, would you, when you're answering to Jesus, are you gonna say, yeah, that was fine? Do you go, like, you have so many like
Mm.
Christians who do questionable things all in the name of Christianity, and we wonder why people don't like Christians. We can't we can't start trying to you can't start trying to be like the people of the world and get shocked when people of the world are just like, how are you a Christian? Like I can't play myself like that. And again, as I
yeah.
said, if I answer to God, that is like the ultimate, like that is what I'm focusing on. That's what as Christians we should focus on.
But you say that as well. But I've said, I'm gonna say it till I'm blue in the face, and I've said this. I'm sure I sound like a broken record at this point. But I still stand 10 toes down that it's because a lot of people don't even know what a Christian is. Because let me give you a case in point. Yeah, we have people who shout about sin, 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 but they tend to go on the stuff like on the nose stuff. So stealing, adultery. Guys, do you know that gossiping is a sin?
Thank you.
Do you know
Mm.
that gluttony is a
Is
sin?
this, yeah.
So at the end of the day, I can't stand this man.
But
At
eating
the
is
end
my
of
coping mechanism. Like,
okay,
Please.
gluttony is a sin. So at the end of the day, you thinking that someone having premarital sex is greater than the fact that you eat till you can't breathe is laughable. And that's the problem I have, because a lot of people, they kind of see like their biases as the standards that that they think God is holding everyone else to,
Yeah.
right?
mm,
So like, even when we talk about like white lies, if we're gonna go
Thank you.
down into semantics, yeah, someone
We
calling you
can't.
and saying where are you, and you say I'm home and you're not home, or I'm out and you're not out.
That was a sin.
That is
That
just
was
as
a sin.
bad as someone going into somewhere and shooting 1,000 people. Now, the law will see it differently, and that's why you have different penalties and you have different sentences.
Yeah.
But God
mm.
says, you sinned, You sinned. You have both fallen short. He doesn't look at the
Everybody sinned.
gravity of anything. So why do you think that they just see like the severity of certain things? Like, oh, she had a child out of wedlock. Surely it's much worse than me telling pastor that the reason I didn't pay my tithe this month is because things are hard, as opposed to the fact that I went to go buy that bag I can't afford.
No.
That's also
No,
a sin.
It is. I think a lot of Christians don't, because we don't be reading our Bibles. We don't be
on it,
reading
sis.
our Bibles, because if we read our Bibles, we know that God has a standard that I think again we try to play judge and jury, because my sin might be little. I'm sure it's excusable, but to God, it's just like the person that lied and the person that murdered somebody. We are all like,
let them blow the
that's
trumpet and see who
I
gets raptured,
who
because
is in the
that lie you told. In fact, even all those your Instagram posts and all those things that you're writing that's not true. Was it not one woman that got exposed? Basically, she imagine you people are bold, you know. You guys, your audacity is literally giving Oxford and Cambridge, because you realize that this woman literally went to go give a whole testimony in church about a house that she bought.
Oh.
That was not
Wait.
and then
inside the
Actually
someone
church,
saw
went
her.
on the altar and said,
Okay,
in the
God
church,
guys,
bless me
do you
with
know
in
a
the
that?
house of
house.
the
Do you
Lord.
know that? Let me give you an example. Do you know that there's some churches that you people you don't know them? How can you go to somewhere like an NSPPD or somewhere like a COSA where like 500,000 people are streaming the service, and you think people will not
People will
recognize
find
you
out.
in the street afterwards? That's how sis was selling pepper.
Wow.
I'm not even joking. Like on the side of the road, and thing is, her face was like, you know, like people like some people have like this distinct face, like you can't forget it. That's how they put her on blast though. They now went to
Oh
the live
no.
stream. They now put the live stream of when she was like, God has done it. This is my evidence. This is my, and you know the funny thing about it is that she did look like someone who would be lying. So it wasn't like you would like debate it. Someone like that will now see a couple in the streets doing kizzy and be like, children of that of what's it called, Beelzebub, or what's the name? Do you know what I mean? So it's like me, I didn't sin. No, I'm just manifesting. You know, I'm just manifesting. I'm calling things out as though they were. But
No,
she's sinning.
we don't fear God enough, because how do you enter the house of the Lord to lie?
That one is bold.
We
That
don't
one.
Because
fear God at
we
all.
don't fear God. To be fair, I think we like God of the Old Testament. He tried to do that.
Like
Strike down quick.
when you read about the 10 plagues, when you read it, like, I'm so sorry, but I feel like God has mellowed. God said,
No, no, no,
don't
no, no, no,
turn
no, no,
back.
no.
Someone turn back their salt instantly. Like, he doesn't even wait for any, you know, like, they don't, like, any small thing. I don't like what they do. Yeah, wipe them out. Kill them all. So,
I
like,
wouldn't say
And
no.
fire
I
and
wouldn't say God has
brimstone.
mellowed. I would just say He's giving us chance. He's giving us chance, because
how many
as
chances?
human beings,
2,000 years,
we
2025
no.
years after his son was crucified.
Like no.
People are
He
still
I
he,
need the
moving
chance.
mad.
he actually
I need
knows
to.
us enough to be like,
I need the
mercies are
chance,
new every
Vanessa.
morning.
Please, I need the chance. I need the
All right,
chance.
what are you
Don't
doing
make
That
me.
is
in the
no.
secret
No, that's
corners?
very
I need the
me.
chance, please.
I need
I
it.
don't know
We
about
know
you.
you,
I
I
but
need
need
the
it.
we know
chance.
you need it. We know you need it, but
I
all
need
right.
chance. No, you, as you're saying, someone will call you and you don't pick up the phone.
Just
They'll
go.
answer. And when they ask you, "Oh, I didn't see your phone call," do you not think God will look at this guy and say, "She's
God will
not
be
all
like,
right.
No, but you know what? I can't
my
She
even lie.
guy.
needs
It's
the
true.
mercy.
It's
No,
do you know? I can't even lie. It's true. You
so,
know.
so,
I need
so
the chance, please."
no, even speaking about things like that, because you use the word excusable earlier, and I think that's a I like that phrasing, because I think a lot of Christians see it as, I have a good reason to do it. And an example is lying on your CV. We
Is it lying
know
or brandishing your CV?
Semantics.
You see?
A
Are
lie is
you
a lie.
brandishing?
no.
No,
So
because
no,
you can say
this one is
there's
straight up.
lying on your CV
This
and
one.
there's brandishing.
Okay,
There's a difference.
no. I'm not even talking about the branding shit part, because even that one is a bit like already on the gray
Yeah, you
area.
trying to confess something.
Exactly.
It's not me confess. Have I done this before? I don't know. His mercies are new every morning. All things are passed away. Everything become new. But you have the situations of like the UK will be like, I need you to have 3 years, 5 years experience, you know. And because of that, a lot of people who are good enough to get the job would not get the job. Then someone will
Mm.
come along and say, you know what, just put that you have done this, I will be your reference.
Ah,
And
don't
they
do that
do
to
it,
the you.
they get the job they are in. After that, they don't even need to put that old one on their CV, and then their life can continue and their career can continue.
My career
People,
would not continue. I can't even lie. If they found that
your
I
your
lied,
your line of work is a bit
I
more
you
more
can't
dicey though. But
yeah.
I remember I asked this question when I first moved to the UK and I went to visit Belgium. And I asked a pastor, it was like a Bible study or something. And they were talking about like the white light type of stuff. I was like, so what happens in that situation? Because these people need a job. Nothing is happening. They are praying. No one is hiring them because, oh, you don't have 3 years experience, you don't have 5. Well, I've done the training, I'm good enough for the job. What then? Right?
Please
So
do.
when people do that, it's not for like maybe like high, but probably if you're doing law, please don't try and dox
Please,
your.
they will disbar you and you will never be able to work as a lawyer again. Do not
Yeah,
lie
but
on your
even
CV.
things like support work, they can't get a job because
Mm.
so you don't have a certain amount of experience. So
Do you know what's
what
funny?
happens then?
Support work is actually the easiest job. They be training. I in my church, my old church, like everybody that moved to Nigeria and their family, support work is actually the easiest thing to get into, or even cleaning. But I would honestly, as you said, lying is a sin. I can't, from like a Christian, when you're being strict, lying is a sin. If you lie in your CV, you've you've lied, you've sinned. But I can't sit here and say I don't understand why people do it because life is hard. I can't judge people who do that because in this UK you have to hustle. So I wouldn't say that people who do that are do. It's
Are you
very
saying
hard.
that they're like because
They're justified,
they're
And
but
and
it's
justified,
and, and
but
that's the
sin.
excusable, right? That's when it becomes
I
like,
wouldn't say I wouldn't say it's excusable because then I'm trying to play God. It's only God can excuse people's sin. I'm not God, so I understand why people do it. But if we're being straight, it's a
Mm.
sin. Do you get like
mm,
But the thing again, I'm not God, so I'm not gonna say you are sinning. That's me putting judgment. Me, my own sin of saying I didn't see your missed call is the same way you lying on your seat. To God, it's the same thing. I understand why people do it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, okay. But
Mhm.
before I incriminate myself, but again, I can't now start going around because you lied on your CV. Is me playing holier than thou, and that's not my job.
mm,
It's not my job to start saying this person is a sin. And I think that's what a lot of Christians we actually like to do. We like to call out sin, and that is not our job. Our job is to live righteously. Our job is not to start calling out sin because it says judge not, you will not be judged. The measure you judge
Mm.
is the measure that will be given back to you. So I know like we want to be able to like declare what is sin and non-sin, but
Because
I think there's a difference between living your life righteously and making sure you with the help of God, because it's not easy. It's really not easy. Before you know it, you've lied and you have to pray for mercy. But at the
yeah.
end of the day, I can't start now going around. Remove, Jesus said, remove the log in your own eye.
log.
Be log before you now start picking on someone else's speck. I'm not saying like if I'm being like, do you get what I mean? Like you can be
Mm.
clear on certain things, but it's not now my job to now start doing police, police. You are lying. Christian
Yeah.
police. That's not
Because
my job.
I really did have a question saying, is it time for the church to stop acting like spiritual police over legal choices, especially when they're not even following the rules themselves?
It is. There's a difference between like cool like if we're in a member of church, we're a community.
Yeah.
Yes, if I see my friend doing something that's like, babes, I love you. What you're doing, I don't think God would be happy with that. There's a difference in that, and you're not going outside the church, calling everything that somebody is not even a Christian. She's not dressing modest. She had abortion. She did this. And it's just like that person doesn't even believe in God for them to see it as sin. And I think that's the difference.
So the
Mm.
standard is different.
We
Facts.
always want to police what's outside the church, and we have not even fixed our house. People don't even like coming to church because they see Christians as hypocrites. You're doing all sorts of things in the church. You're not focusing on that, but you want to focus on people who don't even believe in God. So, and you expect them to follow the same standard. Like,
And
personally, make it make
yeah,
sense.
and even I feel like, and B, I know we spoke about this. We've spoken about this extensively on this pod about grace. We shout grace, grace, grace all the time, and I feel as though sometimes we don't give grace enough for people who didn't know Christ early as well. Because
Yeah.
the truth is that a lot of people, like I don't know if everyone was born into a Christian household, right? But
Yeah,
I was. However, I wouldn't say that I knew Christ properly until I was like 19 years old.
yeah,
And that's because at that moment, it was a conscious decision for
yeah,
me to accept Christ and then have my life toe in that direction, right? So
yeah,
you can't expect somebody who wasn't saved. And for me, saved means that you're accepting Jesus as your Lord and Savior and you understand the gravity of that decision. Because technically, I was born again
yeah.
when I was 12. But me
You
accepting
don't.
Christ
Yeah,
was, and actually knowing the gravity of, okay, I now have to live my life in a certain way. I was
yeah,
19 years old. Someone who didn't do that until they were maybe 25, 28, even if they accepted Christ today, yeah, one thing about the transformation of Christ is that it's from the inside out. It's not
yeah,
performative. So
yeah.
it's not like because I was now wearing a back cut dress or what they
I would
call or the
tomorrow. I
slits,
would
I'll
change.
now change and be wearing turtleneck and boo boo. That's not how it works. The transformation is inward, outward. So it's inward first. So it starts to change your thoughts. You're the one who's going to have a conversation with yourself and go, as a child
Is
of God,
this?
I should be wearing it. I shouldn't be wearing this. I shouldn't be doing this. It's not like, oh, people in my church are wearing turtleneck. So by default, let me too go and choke
Let me
myself
too.
inside a turtleneck. That's not how it works. And that's why I've said it as well that a lot of Christians are now performative because they see it as if I'm not showing breast, if I'm not showing my bum, if I'm wearing this, if I'm dressing modestly, I'm the model Christian.
And that's Jesus. Even God says like you're doing outward performance, but your heart is far away from me. That's what he
Mm.
was getting onto the Pharisees about. Like,
Literally.
we are we had a really interesting sermon in our church about cultural Christians. Like, you perform all the performances. That's, you don't drink, you don't swear, you don't do this, but you don't love God. You hate people. Every time you open your mouth, it's rubbish. You're like, do you get, like, your outwardly appearance doesn't matter if your heart is black. if your
It
heart
really
is
doesn't. It
if your
doesn't
heart is
matter at
far away
all.
from God. I think that's why a lot of people will be shocked when we all get into heaven, and with the line, everybody will say, "Oh, I didn't know.
Do you
I
know how long
didn't
it
know."
took me to realize that you didn't have to shout to pray? And this is what I'm talking about. Like, you know those people, when it's time to pray, they'll be rolling on the floor. They will, and it's not like, I'm not even saying that this is like a spiritual manifestation. This is just like they're rolling on the floor. Fire, fire, fire. And I'm like, I didn't know it was
Sometimes you need that.
possible to be on your bed and pray. And you know what? Like, I love God so much. God is my father and God is my friend. Like, we cool. But one of the things that I love specifically about God is that He sees the heart. Your
Yeah,
heart cannot lie. Like, you can lie with everything, with your body language, with your words. Your heart cannot lie. Like, someone can walk past you, you can say, oh, you look good, and your heart has said, this girl is ugly. And God heard it, even when you didn't even say it out loud, even when you didn't even think it in your head. What you really feel about that person, God can see it. And that's why when that widow gave her 2 mites, Jesus said she gave the most because
yeah.
he knew what was in everyone's bank account in comparison to what they gave. You didn't have to give your bank statement. God already said, imagine someone like Elon Musk giving someone 100K. People will look at, it'll hold you. But the truth is, that's how God sees us. God actually knows what you actually have. God sees everything that you can't see. And for aunties and uncles, dear aunties and uncles, you know me, I love you, our lovely church aunties and uncles. If the person okay, say for example, you go to church on a Sunday and you sit down and the pastor says, okay, everyone, I would like you to look under your chair. Under your chair has a USB stick. And on this stick is a clip of everything you did in the past week for the
Ah,
person next to you. So basically,
hey,
the person sitting on my right or on my left has a clip of everything I did in the past week. will I still hold my head up high?
I think I did all right this week. I think I did all right.
That's what you think. That is what you think. But that's what I'm saying. That, do you know that when I pray, I always pray, say, God, any sin I may have committed knowingly and unknowingly, in
I
the
love that prayer.
secret and
That
in the
is such.
open.
I love
That is
I love
such a
that prayer.
Forgive me.
redeemed
Because you
prayer.
no, think about it. Because no, it's true. Because even my thoughts, I can think lustfully about someone that walks past me and is fleeting.
Yeah.
And I don't even know I did it. So I am not so self-righteous to go, God, forgive me my sins that I committed. The ones I didn't even know I committed,
yeah, probably don't look at
like-
my USB stick.
Hey. Oh.
So my thing
Yeah,
is,
if we're
so
thinking like
because of that,
thoughts
we
that
can't
passed
then.
are fleeting, and you have to quickly say, "Oh, Father, help me."
And guess what, B? Which one of those things were illegal?
None.
No,
And
they were not.
some of
They were not like illegal.
Do
I
you
didn't
understand
like
what
I
I'm
want to kill
saying?
someone
So
or something.
at the end of the day,
Like-
I always feel like this is my belief, yeah. And I don't want it to seem like I'm self-righteous. My belief has always been there is no way I can follow Christ and go against the law.
Thank you.
It is impossible. Like, what is it that
Yeah.
Christ has asked me to do that will
That
be
the law-
going against the law of the land? It's when you guys try to. Okay, go ahead. Go on. Oh, you're the lawyer, please.
No, I would like to say though that like we might not have that now. You make a valid point, but if now they now said we are banning Bible, nobody should read Bible. You see, in country, nobody should read Bible, nobody should pray. That is illegal and it could take you to jail.
Okay.
It's not.
So
what then
if
happens
they
then?
say
Yeah.
don't pray, have you ever seen like the people who have kind of been like in certain
Persecuted.
countries persecuted for praying?
Yeah.
Is it because they prayed or they prayed in public?
I don't know.
Because and that's what because that's the beauty of Christ. Do you know that in the Old Testament, for example, you would have the outer court, you would have the inner court, and you would have the Holy of Holies because someone had to go represent us, right?
Yeah.
Now we have full access to
We
God,
have, like,
where you can pray even without opening your mouth. That's why deaf people can pray. That's why people who can't speak, who are mute, can pray. That's why anyone can pray. So in my house, if I do this, I'm praying.
And you're praying.
Culture is what told you that if you're not saying, look at Jesus, fire, 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 you're not praying. And that's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, I feel like the coming of Christ in itself has given us this beautiful privilege of being able to love, serve, and worship Him in spirit and in truth, uninhibited. It's you that wants to say, excuse me if I get undignified and you want to rub in front of everybody. You don't have to. You don't have to. So in the grand scheme of things, you can actually be a true follower of Christ and not go against the law of the land. Because I don't think God will want us to go against the law of the land anyway.
Jesus already said it. You don't have to go against, because like now, anything, I know I'm not doing anything illegal, because the first thing you should be thinking about as a Christian is, how is this honoring God? Yeah, my age.
Girl.
He has got him.
As a Yoruba girl, whether you're born in England, you're born in Australia. I wasn't born in England,
so
that
the H factor,
it will find you. It will find you.
It's always finding me. But how is this giving glory? See, I didn't use the H word. How is this giving glory to God? Like it says, like in everything you do it as you're doing to the Lord. So if everything, like, I'm not gonna be doing anything that's illegal unto the Lord, that doesn't make sense. You're right. Like in the legislation that I know of, if my life is pleasing to God, I won't go against the law. Like that's, unless something happens that you say I can't buy Bible or something ridiculous, the Antichrist comes and the world is moving mad, then that's a different story. But yeah, as you said, as a child of God, if you want your life to have meaning, to give glory to the Lord, you won't be doing illegal things.
Yeah, and I think that's the scary part of being a Christian. I call it scary because the more I'm getting to know God, especially this year, especially like reading the Bible for yourself, the more you understand the requirements He has of you. And I know people will be like, Christ has no requirement of you, but the standard to which God needs you to live your life, if you truly want to follow Him, it's scary. like
It is.
understanding to the extent of when the Bible says He is a jealous God, it's not because you're going to worship other idols. It's like, no, everything you do, I want you to do it to please me. It has to be pleasurable to me, like every
Mm-hmm.
single thing. And yeah, on the back end, we know we do it because God will sort us out. He'll look after us and all that. But that's where, like, when you hear words like dying, your
To
flesh
self.
dying, I think people don't understand like what dying is. We take it as metaphor. It's like, no, for something to die, you
Yeah.
literally have to suck the life out of it. Like, and that is not a pleasant experience. It's like when people say, I
No.
want to be the clay in the hands of the potter. I'm like, have you seen where they are?
No. The funniest is the refiner. You know when people were singing refiner.
I wanna
Oh,
be tried.
I do not want to be
like
tried by fire.
the
That song
see I always like visualize it because to come out as purified gold is like do
All
you
the
know the
impurities
heat
are out.
do you know the heat they have to put you through to burn those things out of you, where to the point where you're like, oh, okay, even as little as my CV, I know if I just tweak it a bit, I can get this job. That's how I want. Alleged, let me put the allegedly. Someone was like, oh, Brandon, could you build a server? And I was like,
has Brandon ever built a server before?
no.
Hmm.
And Brandon did not use that day to start building a server. But at the same time, I was just like, oh, what's the server for? I was like, oh yeah, I was trying to send the email. I was like, oh, okay. And this was like, let me not be giving specific. It was a while back, so exchange rate was good. I think they were like, you'll be getting like 100 plus K a day. And I was just like, It'd be like, say, but then even if I'm like, oh, I'm not the one doing it directly, where does your morality then comes from? And I believe like your morals and value comes from, if you're a Christian, ought to come from Christ. And like both of you said, if you are then saying you're living your life for Christ, you ought to, your morality then has to be influenced by God, because you can be like, I'm not the one doing it, I just provided the service, but the service in turn is going to be used to harm people or otherwise. And I think even we Christians don't even see it to that extent of like, something I'm doing here can allow someone else to cause harm to another person. Even to that
No.
extent, we just think, I
As
did my
long
job. Yeah, I
Because
was not the one that
I
directly
have a
hurt
question. I have a
anybody.
question for
You
Ore,
know,
mm-hmm.
based on what you just said, actually, because I don't want to forget. And
yeah,
it's
go
Yeah.
for it.
partly to do with last week because I got a few texts about my kissing statement. Yeah. So, and I want to ask that. No, it's true.
Really?
Because
What did you say?
because
She
I
said
don't
she's
believe.
before marriage. Can you
Hey,
believe?
No, but
so,
because
hey, hot
wait, I
girl.
want I want to ask a
Okay.
question. Because I want to say something because I know that because I've read the Bible cover to cover a few times actually, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one to kind of go through like the back end, go through semantics and say, well, technically not do this, not do this. But
Yeah.
if God or the Bible or the rules in the Bible, and not even the rules in the Bible because Leviticus is I don't that book is not my own. It's not for me. I've been redeemed
It
in
was for the
Christ.
it was for the
For the
Israelites.
and they deserved it.
Mm.
But I feel like in the age of grace, yeah, because the Bible hasn't told me specifically not to do something, I understand it can lead to this and this and this and this. Where do we draw the line of okay? Technically, the Bible says leave the marital bed undefiled. It's sex before
Mm-hmm.
marriage that the Bible has a problem with. It's fornication the Bible has a problem with. Is kissing your partner fornication? Wait, now are you alright?
No, no. I'm sorry, but this is another thing I
Thank
don't
you.
like. Christians imposing personal. This is what I noticed with TikTok Christians and TikTok evangelists. You
Mhm.
having personal conviction,
Mm.
and now you now want to take it to
And what did
God
I say? What did I say in the last episode? I will kiss my
having
partner before marriage, but if I'm convicted and God tells me that in this relationship, kissing is a no, then we will
Then
have that
stop.
conversation and we will stop. But I'm not going to now say it's anyway. Sorry,
Okay.
I just want to, because people think they can come in my DM and can start spitting what they.
Because peck is a kiss, no? Peck is a kiss, no?
Oh my goodness.
No.
Like, there are a couple of things you both said now about like the pastors, the church reacting to the church members. But I want to ask, because we've seen pastors do say, and Van, you can use this as your segue into your topic you so gladly want to talk about. Well, we've seen pastors do and say stuff, right? Literally commit crimes even before we get to even like sins.
Yeah.
And they walk straight back onto the altar. What is the role of the church in that? Because I think, Van, I spoke to you about this, where some people reported things to me about a pastor, and I was just like, am I supposed to sit with this? What am I supposed to do with this? You know,
I
so
think
if a pastor has, I don't want to say
committed a
fallen, he's
crime.
committed a crime, and maybe it's not a crime that he's going to go to jail, probably has a good enough lawyer, you know, and we're not even talking about, before we get into crimes of like maybe sexual immorality and all that, like actual legal crimes, right?
Pardon me.
And we know it was on the news, unfortunately. Where does the church come in?
I personally kick that pastor out of the but I don't believe that pastor should have a position of authority anymore, because you see, like, when members mess up, you see the way pastors deal with members. Like, Auntie Bola in the choir has a pregnancy now. Auntie Bola will be kicked out of the choir and she will be made a regular member of the congregation.
She
I
can't
don't
even
see
stay in
what
front.
she can't see. She's all the way in the back.
They won't
Okay.
even christen her child because the
No,
child was
no.
born out of wedlock.
Actually, funny enough, this is a pastor that has been known to give grace. This is actually maybe too lenient to some extent.
It
No,
doesn't
I
even
don't.
matter.
It doesn't.
Doesn't matter.
I
I'm so
don't.
sorry.
Because I don't think. Yeah, because pastors, even in the Bible, it says the shepherds are held to a higher standard.
Yeah, they'll be
But
judged.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we don't even see it that way. But I think if a pastor, I know, like, there was this American pastor that I know that was accused of he was sleeping with a male member of the church. Yada
Is
yada.
he the one that
It blew.
died?
I don't even know if he died or not. But yeah, the whole scandal, and then he obviously stepped down, but then he opened another church again. But I'm sorry, but I'm personally, as a Christian, like, why do you even need to now go back and lead another congregation again? You
Yeah.
step back, step down, and be a regular member of the church. Like,
Let's
because
even put it aside. Sorry to interrupt you, babe. Let's even put it aside.
yeah,
You see, we're Christians. Let's take this Christianity. Just hang it over there. Let it rest for a moment. In life, in general, in life, if you found out that your accountant went to jail for fraud, would they
who
still
is
be
going
your
to hire that
accountant?
person? No.
If you found out that your child's teacher was once convicted for pedophilia, would you not have fire on your stick and say, what is going on here? So my thing is that it's not just about like, oh, the person and grace. It's about the office that you occupy.
The authority that you're perceiving,
certain standards, and it comes with certain sensitivities. If somebody has been accused of sexual assault, why would I want this person to pray for me in the room when the door is closed?
Thank you.
I'm sorry, you cannot hold certain offices. No one is saying that grace doesn't about. There's a reason why.
Step down.
You have to step down. Now, there was a pastor in Nigeria. If the shoe fits, as I said, wear it and strut your strut, yeah? There was a pastor in Nigeria one time who he basically had accusations left, right, center, front, back, north, south, east, and west. Guys, this man basically took a 2-week holiday and came back like nothing happened. In fact, people left his church, but let's say 1,000 people left his church, 5,000 people came in. But there was 5 people stayed. Scary. Like, so more came in than left. Now,
I know this church.
yes, till today, I don't rate any pastor
I don't
or
listen.
any
I don't listen.
minister that goes to minister at this person's church. Do you know that there's some Nigerian ministers still today, they will not step foot in that church? It
They
was too
shouldn't, because
much.
it's like
I'm
legitimizing
so
that
like
person.
Yes,
It's
really not in the
legitimizing their
church.
crime.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, that pastor, for example, apparently or allegedly, it didn't start today. This person has been doing it from uni when this person was leading campus fellowship. So basically, the higher this person climbed, the more his victims, because now this person had access, this person had money, this person had status, and so this person was able to get away with all those things. Such a person, even if they have to go to court and prove your innocence, up until that happens, you shouldn't smell that pulpit. When I used to work in UK transport, right? When I worked in UK transport, if, for example, as a passenger, say I'm a driver and or as a passenger, if the passenger calls the depot to report that you did something, maybe swore at them or were rude to them, the first thing we do is pull that driver off the road. We don't care if you're guilty or innocent. You will get your pay. But until an investigation is complete, you do not get behind the wheel. We pull CCTV, we get witness statements, all sorts. But you will not get back behind the wheel until we have cleared you. That's a bus driver. Now you're talking about a pastor. People, listen, I'm sorry, but there's some international students, right, whose parents will send them all the way from Nigeria, come with their child, hand their child over to that pastor and say, I'm in Nigeria, please. Pretend this is your child. Help me take care of my child. The next minute you're calling mommy, pastor did this and pastor did that. It is scary because there's something that happens when you're around certain people. You drop your guard. You're not literally on guard. Like when you're walking down the street at night, you're extra cautious. If you have someone next to you, you're a bit calm, but okay, there's two of us. So you drop your guard when you're around people that you trust. You drop your guard around when you're around people like you feel safe around. Now imagine it's that person that's now causing you harm. There was a pastor who came and gave a testimony. A pastor, she leads a church. She came to give a testimony that the first time she was ever SA'd in her life was by her pastor. And that pastor climbed the pulpit the next day to preach about fornication and how it's wrong. But how God's grace covers a multitude of sins. And that day, she felt like someone was doing this and physically choking her because she couldn't talk. Who's going to believe her over the man that's leading these thousands of people? Who's going to believe her? So that's what I'm saying now. It's so scary.
No, I think, as I was saying, especially Nigeria.
You can't climb that pulpit.
No, I think it's a problem, especially as Nigerians. We see the role as pastors as this untouchable figure that they can do no wrong, and if they do wrong, it's the devil. We need to give them grace. Whereas for ordinary Christians, we are not even. God didn't even call everybody to be a pastor. Like when you do wrong, I'm sorry, but I personally, a pastor who is cheating on their wife would never be my pastor. Do you know why? If you're allowing the devil to use you, what prayer are you praying inside my life? If you're letting the devil use you,
God isn't even answering your prayers because you are sinning.
Is then cheating.
No, I'm sorry. What's covering you? What's covering? There's no umbrella. There's hose this umbrella. Everybody gets wet. I'm sorry. There is no covering because you're allowing the devil to use you. You're walking in lust. You're not even set down. But I'm sorry. I think for me, like we give so much grace to pastors. We don't give grace to ordinary like the members of the church. It's as you say, it's a bad thing in Nigeria. Like, and if you say anything, it's touch not my anointed and do.
Your anointing is moving mad. Your anointing is moving mad.
The
so
anointing
no,
is no longer there.
We are touching them, okay? We're
and the thing is,
by the wrist.
We use that Bible verse in such a wrong way because God was talking about the Israelites and the prophet at that time. He wasn't saying pastors can do no wrong. He wasn't saying that if you sin, if a pastor does a sin, why would God now say, "Don't touch my anointed"? Is that how God works? Is that how we see God as
small Moses that just did not speak?
Look at what God did to Moses. If God did that to Moses,
Moses
is even small. Guys, do you remember when they built the Holy of Holies? and only one person could go in there because the person was sinless. And if this person went in unholy, how did they drag them out?
The rope and
The
Thank
the...
best
you.
upbringing, no.
Thank you. So I'm telling you that some people have bravado. Imagine going into the Holy of Holies knowing that you've sinned. And I said, touch on my anointed. There are people that they had to commit themselves to a life of cleanliness just so they could go before the throne of grace. You now come on the pulpit after you've done all you've done. I feel like we need to start
Again, we don't fear
idolizing
God.
people.
People don't fear God enough, because
Yeah.
you've done all, like, and even as Christians, yes, there's grace, we ask for forgiveness, but as a pastor, for you to have done that, like, even I know this recently, there was this pastor, he was in Transformation Church, and then allegations came out of sexual assaults. You think I would not want to be involved with a pastor that
I
doesn't
would
honor
dust my
God?
slippers.
Please, Zoom, I'm out.
I'm sorry.
I am out.
They didn't tie my hand. They didn't tie my leg. Why am I there? Now, this pastor of this leader, founder of a certain church, now came on Rishi Sunak's internet, and he said
It's
that
no
I
longer
quote,
Rishi.
It's not longer Richie.
It's not Rishi.
I don't even acknowledge that name. Okay. He came on Keir Starmer's internet.
No, it's Tinubu's on now. It wasn't.
Please.
Okay, Elon Musk at this point. He came on the internet, Sha, and he said that 9 out of 10 sexual assault cases reported in his church turned out to be false. And he said it with so much conviction and chest.
Is that something to be proud of, or
you will live long? You will live long. I will tell you why. Because this man now said, because ordinary, like small touch, they've touched you. You've cried sexual assault. Then no, wait. So then he said that a lot of these people, they'll now bring evidence. You said they sexually assaulted you. You said the night before it was really nice. I enjoyed it. Then
wait, was all this thing said?
He said it. I'm not paraphrasing. I'm being very careful not to paraphrase.
When Tini was telling me the story, she did not mention.
No. I'm not. I promise you, I'm not paraphrasing. He said.
I'm in shock.
He now said, "This is why this is that guy could have gone to jail because if he didn't keep the evidence, if he didn't have screenshots, because 9 out of 10 of the cases, the girl, like, you can't even prove what is sexual assault now because it could be that you guys were kissing and they said that they raped you. Then he now turned and said, and you guys." He said, no. He now tried to cover it. And I said, oh, and this is why consent is so important. Because even if a girl says yes, 10 seconds in, if she says no, run. But guess what? As a Christian, why should you even be having this conversation? This is why you guys go kiss. This is why you guys, that's why I brought it up. This is why you guys go kiss before marriage. And now look at you, good for you. Now they've accused you of rape. What are you going to do now?
What?
When you should not be kissing somebody. Like, marital rape doesn't happen. Do you understand? This man literally came out and said that. And I now quoted and said, why do you have so many sexual assault accusations in your church? Because it's physically impossible.
That is the question.
All right. Can I come out and say that someone sexually assaulted me if I wasn't even in the same room with them, or if one of us didn't do something to the other person, even if it was just a kiss, right? And I've escalated it. So my question is, why are the men in your church
so free to be
in so many compromising situations to the point where even if consensual sex happened, they've had sex with somebody? Because if they pull the labs and they pull DNA and everything, they will find evidence. Why are so many women coming in your church? One church, is it only you? Not only you I can come. Why is it that everyone is not coming to? And he said it with so much like vim. I said, yeah. In the house of God, really. And he was so confident about it. And then I'll use small 20 seconds to talk about consent. And they started shaming the men. Now, okay, when you guys two will kiss before marriage, they're going to accuse you of graping.
I can't even speak because the words I can't find the words because
I promise you I was flabbergasted.
The first person that sent me the first one, someone said, "Oh, your pastor." I was like, "I'm not," because I was having like a shitty week, so I was like, "I'm not in the mood." Then the next person was like, sent it. I was like, again, I'm not in the mood. Someone has already tried to give me this gist. The other person didn't let me say, no, I'm not in the mood though.
No, it was bad.
And they started going up, and I was like, and they didn't even go in this much detail. I
didn't want to take it out of context, so I watched as much as I could. I didn't want to take it out of context, and it got worse as he kept talking. It got worse and worse and worse and worse. I said, okay.
What's that?
Like I think I was like the first 10 seconds. Just like I don't even have the mental fortitude, and I think one
not the mental fortitude.
No, because I'm in this space where I'm struggling to not play ignorant. I want to go in. I wish I could just be drifting through life and play ignorant. But unfortunately, the world we live in, we are not allowed to. We're not even allowed. You can't afford
to be ignorant.
To be ignorant about anything. And when I was being told the story again, they didn't go in this much detail because they were angry when they were talking about it. So I don't think they had the clarity to say this much. One, as a data person, when I hear people start dropping numbers, my mind just goes, like, let's not. That's, to me, if you say it to someone like me, that's the worst way to start an argument. Where you start saying 9 out of 10. I already know your data is skewed. I already know there's something wrong, especially if we're going to be talking about sexual, what do you call it? Assault and rape and all that. And also, I don't understand why pastors do not understand that when you are on a platform, pulpit, whatever you want to call it, even if you're trying to make a point, why is that the context you would use because first of all, it's a topic that's very sensitive.
Very.
You are saying that people in your church have reported, so there are people in that room that will be like, we remember how we grew up about, oh my God, the pastor is preaching about something I told him. Now take this particular topic. Then again, you are indirectly invalidating the people who might have actually told you something, even if you say that's not your intentions. That's what you're doing. And then let's not talk about the fact that this case is, some people think, oh, because I was flirting with her and I smacked her bum, is not sexual assault.
It's not. And that's the thing. A lot of men do not understand what sexual assault is, especially Nigerian men. Sorry, but
they don't get it.
Especially they don't get it.
So you can't come and say like, oh, because, or you're saying that when they reported the case to you, you don't think maybe the lady was worried at the fact that you are sitting there with the position you hold, and they hold you to high regards, and the guy is sitting there, and maybe there are other elders in the room, and now she feels outnumbered. You think she's not going to have the boldness to say, yes, he actually did it, especially if you are someone like me who don't know how to make your argument when you are under pressure. So even if someone is saying, oh, but according to the text message and what happened the night before, does not mean
that person did not sexually assault.
Because in that moment they just couldn't defend themselves, or they felt overwhelmed. So there are many cases to be like 9 out of 10.
No, I'm sorry, but why
data, you can't have 9 out of 10. And again, okay, I can really see it. It was a point of, how they'll say, I was just using
hyperbole.
But again,
hyperbole. It's not.
I'm sorry, I'm a minus data person. We have to stop saying, oh, but you know what I was trying to say.
No, we don't.
Say what you're trying to say. Just say what you're trying to say.
You cannot say you know what I was trying.
It's crazy.
Especially in cases of sexual assault. If you can't be saying you know what I was trying to say. No. Because that is so crazy.
It was false. It was false. And thank God they had proof. What do you mean proof?
Text messages are not enough proof.
Because you can, as you said, you can be in a committed relationship and still be sexually assaulted. You can be married and still be sexually assaulted. So that doesn't prove, like, you can like somebody today and tomorrow somebody said, and then that's a lot of, that is my problem with pastors. When a lot of them are misogynistic. So when misogyny now comes into play, that's how the statement of you, that's why they taught you small and it's sexual assault. It
Uh,
is. It is. I'm sorry, I don't
That's
know
a
what you
crazy thing to
no,
say.
if
the moment he said, "Oh, that's good for you," so now they accuse you of raping. Now, what are you gonna do? I lost it. I
Wait,
said,
and he said that
this is why you got
to
this
the
was on this.
guys.
Yeah, this was like, yeah, because it was like, oh, because when we tell you guys not to kiss before marriage, you won't listen. Now, see what you will go to jail.
Okay, what about and so and do you even know why even that part is as equally as insensitive? Is we know for a fact, as a data person, me I can say fact that a lot of Nigerian men were sexually assaulted as boys.
Mhm.
Yep.
So you're saying that to a congregation where there is most likely going to be someone in that audience that has experienced that thing, and you're saying good for you.
That is
because
very insensitive.
because they
And
decided to kiss somebody before they got married, they deserve jail time, and they deserve a
That's
false
why they
accusation.
that's why they falsely accused you. That is
I said, guys,
and
my flabber was gasted. I was just sitting there like, surely
no,
this can't be on the altar of God as well. And he was like when I say he was laughing, belly laughing. I said,
no,
what?
I'm sorry, but you even the whole false accusation to me never makes sense because how are you? I get it. No, like there are crazy people out here, and people can accuse somebody of sexually assaulting them. But how are you in a position that everybody's accusing you of sexually assaulting them, but you're never the
In one
problem?
church,
In
in
one
one
church,
church.
but you're
Come
never the
on.
problem.
no, were
No,
they
but you
accusing him or there were accusations made in the church?
Accusations made in the church. That's why I said,
Oh,
why
okay.
is everyone accusing the men in your
in
church
your
of
church.
like in this same church of sexual? I said nine out of 10, multiple cases, and I'm like, multiple cases. That
That
place
means
should
you're
be
not.
shut down for an investigation. That means women, as a woman, you are
There
telling
needs
me
there needs to be
I do
an
not feel
investigation then.
safe in your
That's too many.
in-
church.
See, those are again, people need to get some data people in their spaces because those are numbers we see. And the business intelligence question is not, oh, we solved 9 out of 10. It's that's a big that 10 in the amount of congregation you have, that's a troubling number.
No, that's what
Like
I said nine out of 10. He didn't say there's 10 cases. Oh. Nine
no
out
no
of
no
10.
no no.
So
I'm saying
no,
that
that's what I'm
that
saying. No,
100% of cases in
exactly.
the number of people you have in your church is a troubling
Exactly.
number. Like
And what's worse is who wants to come forward now if they get sexually assaulted in that church, because they'll come and make fun of you on the
and
pulpit
that's
anyway.
another
Now
thing.
who
You've
wants to
now
come forward?
created an unsafe space
and then
for other people that
You trivialized it, because now people are going to be sitting in that congregation as you were speaking, and it happened to them the night before, and they can't come and they'll be like, oh, that's how pastor's going to say that, you see, because what you've
it's
just
your
also just
fault.
told them is that
You're not a
your
safe space.
disposition is going to be to disprove what the woman has said.
Yeah.
Because
than to prove.
9 out of 10 times it's false. So let's try to disprove it before we try to find evidence
No, the
otherwise.
thing is, she will even disprove it herself because she'll say, "I don't have a
If
text
they d-
message. I don't have a." So she's,
no one's
know,
going to nobody's
believe
going
me
to
if I
believe me,
don't
so I
have
might
this,
as
if I
well.
don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
That
I had to talk about it. I'm so sorry. I was
that
disgusted.
is that is wild. Like me, I've always known that church as
Hmm.
had like if all your members on the internet are always fighting, are always doing defenders of the galaxy for one man,
Hmm.
you're
defenders
already
of the
problematic.
galaxy, you know.
You're already problematic anyway, because how is it no, if it's always you, then you're the problem. I'm sorry. If it's always
Facts.
you, you're the problem. So for
I'm so
this,
sorry, but a church that has you have your pastor's handle in your bio, you have your pastor's name in your bio, you're calling yourself Omo this, Omo that, you have your church handle in your bio, you have everything in your bio. When I see them on Twitter, I block them. Oh. I
that
block
Please,
is
them.
but I'm not on Twitter,
I
please.
don't want to be involved, because every small thing. Why is your church handle in your bio? Why is your pastor's handle in your bio?
is the I love my daddy, I love my pastor.
You know the funny thing
Papa.
is, you know the
For
funny thing
someone
is,
who's 34.
you know
God,
the
please
funny thing
now.
is, Van,
Oh, she said it.
you know the
I
funny
didn't
thing
say
is,
anyone's name, oh.
I always thought that after our generation of church goers, we were not going to be having this daddy thing. I
No, if
legit thought No, I legit thought so
It's
until we were leaving uni and the other church came into uni and
Oh,
everyone was
right.
still doing it.
oh
And
And
no.
someone had a theory. Jola, shout out to you, babe. She had a theory about a lot of pastors, especially this one, and she used this one as a case study. And we're going to finish here. Throw your head back, do whatever you want. I'm going to say it, yeah, because I agree with her. She said a lot of people, not me, because I'm not there, a lot of people consider this pastor very attractive.
oh,
What's attractive? What's attractive?
wait, this is not where I thought this conversation was
So
going.
a lot of ladies consider this man very attractive, but they have no avenue to channel their attraction towards him. So they've inadvertently turned it into idolatry because they don't know where to place
What
it.
to do?
Which
Do you
is why they don't understand how to behave in matters that concern this man. You know the people go and fight themselves over Wizkid and
refuse.
Davido? That's what they've turned it to. Because
No,
they
I don't-
have no way to place it.
I don't think
That was
it's
what that
attraction,
person
you know.
said.
Yeah, I don't think it's attraction.
I think it's charisma, and that is
That's
cult
what she
leaders.
that's what she meant. So not like
Yeah.
they want to necessarily, but it's like
Yeah.
the charm of his office
Yeah,
and the
it's
way he carries
charisma.
himself is what they like kind of
They like,
are drawn to, yeah.
and that is the number one. That is the first thing you look at. Cult
And the cult
leaders
leader.
are very charismatic. They draw people to them, and once you're in, you can't get out. Somebody
Why
has
are
to
you
die.
silent?
So what do
Go
you
ask Jim
be-
Jones. Go ask Jim Jones. Did he not have
Me?
to bite
Cult
the
leaders,
bullet?
they make the congregations for them that if he says anything, if you say kill yourself for me, they will do it. Cult leaders are very charismatic.
Go look at documentaries. There was a man who said that they had to wear like an Adidas head to toe tracksuit and thingy. They wanted to make heaven, and they all died in Adidas like this because that was supposed to be their uniform to heaven. Okay, or the ones that drank Kool-Aid. Anyway, so that's what I'm saying. That all right, you're very
This
correct.
can't be real.
It's
Oh my
charisma,
God.
and that is why I don't like to listen to pastors, especially the congregation. I've said it before, where the congregations are young and the pastor, that is the first, when the congregation is very young, I'm sorry, where are the elders of the church?
Where are the elders?
I don't need a pastor that can be my big
All
brother.
your
I'm sorry.
pastors are,
No, but
all your pastors are
wait,
between
wait, wait,
23,
no, pastors can be
23 and
young, though.
34.
No,
No.
I'm not saying
They
pastors
can
can be
be.
young.
They
Pastors
can be, but if
God
your
keeps calling people.
I know, but when your congregation is so young, like everybody is a young adult. Everybody is a young adult in your church.
The oldest person is 36.
Personally, for me, see again, personally, that's a red flag, and I will not be participating in that church.
Nope.
That for me
Sorry.
personally, that's a red flag.
I can't
Because
do it.
young people are very charismatic, and charisma can turn to idolatry real quick, and that's
You
see your
blink like
example.
this, and you're like,
That's
telling
the
you.
example you're giving. Yeah, so it's not.
Anyway,
it's
big
not.
Mele. So all right,
I
honestly,
like
you
my
were
small church
an
in
amazing.
Manchester. I like
But
my small church in Manchester. Let's just. Why are you squeezing face?
No one said anything to you. No one mentioned your name, and for some
No,
reason you are talking
I'm
about.
just saying shout out to my own small church in Manchester now that I go to.
Okay, good for you. Good for you. All right, thank you so much. You are so. You know what? Funny thing is, I knew having you specifically on this topic. When we put this topic together, what did I tell you, B? I already knew who I wanted on this particular. I said it has to be Ore. Number one, she's a yapper, so we're not going to be bored.
I feel like I just yapped and waffled.
And I feel waffled care. Like, I'm so sorry, but
No, you
I
didn't waffle.
had such a blast on this episode.
I did too.
The way I was holding in my laugh, right? I'm sure that's when like my mic messed up because I must have yanked something. It was too much. Honestly, like, wow. Thank you so much for
thank you for accepting
indulging
our
us.
invite.
No problem. I always want to try it. I said, let me put my yapping to good use. I know the internet have not seen me in a hot minute, so let me put my yapping into good use. I know my friend is tired of me every time she's on the phone to me. So, yeah.
Nice. It was lovely having you. And yeah, please follow us. So I'm ready. This will not be the one where they will drag me
Oh, she's
Oh,
not.
not
It's
even
not.
you.
Please,
I know
yes,
you. I know
please.
you are.
They should drag her this time because Jesus Christ. Till now, I need to even do a response video at this point because till now, you people will not let it go.
It's because
Please, can I do my
I
response now so I can clip it and
So
give it
is
to
it the
them?
kissing
It's not
that
the
people are saying
kissing,
drag?
no. Okay, so I said Nigerian men don't like women.
They don't. I'm sorry, they don't.
they
Who's going to?
don't.
They don't. They don't.
So
And
the thing is, some think it's to do with sexuality. It's not about. We know you like. Can't say that. We know you like sleeping with women. So, and your sexuality is a topic for another day. So it's
yeah,
one. It's not your sexuality. Um, it's more to do with care. So, for example, if you like your football team, so if you like your football team or your cars, if anything happened to it, we know how passionately you defend your manager. We know how, but that energy is not there when it comes to
yeah.
women issues. You
Mm.
know, when
I
because
don't
some
even
of you were
think.
saying my father built shop for my mom. He
No
must have
bakery.
liked her. One said Nigerian men are paying for a lot of women's school. How would half of them would not have gone to school if not for
let's
Nigerian men? So
let's keep it.
we must have liked them. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the you don't if for example what we're talking about today, something happens to a woman, your first thought is not, oh,
Is she
your first
okay?
thought is not even human like of like hope she's fine, hope she's okay.
And why did
Is
she to go there? Why did she go
go
there?
there
Is
or
what
even
she should
She's a
do.
runs girl. She's a runs girl. What was she looking
or
for there?
or even minus that, it's even the disregard for like the value they can bring to something. If you care about something, there will be some kind of emotion. Your
Yeah.
passion for your football club is emotion. Your anger when you lose a match is emotion. But a woman issue comes up. That's what I mean with Nigerian men don't like women.
Yeah, but
I
you're
we,
talking to
we,
It's
people
we,
who they lack comprehension skills. You can explain till you're blue in the face. These people don't care. They take what
the,
they want to take and they come at you for that.
no. I think it's not even. To be fair, it's not misogyny. Is not just like Nigerian men have misogyny pro max. Like men don't like women in general, but Nigerian men and let me not say another country, but Nigeria. I can say Nigerian men because I'm Nigerian.
that's why me too. I said Nigerian men know because it's my own people I know. Although someone
They
said
Because we know people that
he's
was what have the red and yellow,
eh,
white,
eh,
black flag.
but their
Oh,
own
okay.
is pro max.
We have 196 countries, and I made sure to pick the particular color that could apply to at least 10. Emma Kobami, please.
No, their own is pro max, and as you said, because women to them, they only see women's value as children and sex. Like
He
as long
also
as
he,
they
he
give,
also he also said that they dragged him again when he said that Nigerian men don't marry who they like. They marry who fulfills a certain office. They came and they tried to say it
children and
I
again.
sex
like I
and
said, they
food.
hire.
Nigerian men can die for food because let me not say
See,
what I want to
wait,
say.
I is it not the same Twitter I heard that you Nigerian men said, some of you, because they said I was generalizing, some of you said, oh, your wife is not your family member.
So
Thank you.
you guys said if your wife
And
was
you
in
guys
labor
attack
and your
me.
friend was shot, you would go to your friend and you had to pick who to go to. You said you would go to your friend because that might be the last time you see your friend again. As though women don't die from childbirth. Like, you guys, turn this on. Turn it on.
So, although there was
To be
someone that said, he said Nigerian men, does that include him?
yes,
I said you're asking the right questions.
see, the thing is, it includes everybody. It includes everybody can get it. Everybody can get it.
Including me saying it.
So
Yes, yes.
if you don't talk to your boys, talk to yourself, talk to your boys around you, and start to change the narrative slowly but surely. Because in your group, you know at least one person who you be like, it's true, this guy's a disgrace. So maybe you should start talking to your boys. Yes.
No, to be fair, I
All these
don't
people
even.
that are coming at you in the comment section, they have friends. Do they not have friends?
No, all right.
And
If you see
their friend will be
that comment
groomsman for that
section,
kind of.
oh
No,
my
no, it
God.
was a mess. Go. No, it was a mess. It was
No,
a mess.
It's
you
Leave
have to
still
it.
send me
going.
you have to send me the specific here.
I'll send it. I'll send it to you now.
No, to be fair, it's not even like they don't get it. They just don't want to get it because let's use the sensitive topic of police officers. When they are harassing men, they see the issue. That's they see the issue, so they understand. It's just like they don't
They
want
understand
to.
what harassment is, but when
They
it's
do.
them harassing someone, suddenly
Consent harassment, if it's done to a guy, they
They
can.
understand it. They understand, but they don't want to take women's issues seriously. But yeah, I don't. This is why sometimes you just let people because their own wala is too much.
especially dealing with Nigerians. So someone said it's because I'm from a dysfunctional family.
Someone said
One
it's
Hey,
because a single mom raised him.
yeah, someone said a single
ah,
mom raised me. So I was just like, one said I'm crossed. The crossed
Oh yeah, that cross-eyed one. They said he doesn't even know where to look. How can he tell us what to do? I passed out.
no, I'm
I
sorry,
was
Oh
guys.
creasing.
One thing about Nigerians, then you have to give it to them. They can make somebody laugh.
oh my god.
It was the
We
same
were
Nigerian that told me I
cackling.
had a leg and a half. Guys, that thing, till today, I will
I'm so sorry. I'm so,
never forget that insult. And I was 9 years old.
oh no. Oh babe, I'm so sorry.
Uh,
I will
Nigerians are
never
very
forget.
creative at insults though. They're very creative, but
too
You'll
creative.
cry.
you
Even
will
the things that
cry.
is not wrong with you, they'll tell you it's wrong with you. And you will literally start checking your body like, hey, but is it true? Like,
No, like I had to send the video to my sister. I was like, "Am I crossed-eyed?" And one of them unknowingly said yes.
siblings, man, they be your own people. Oh my
Well, all right.
gosh!
Once again, thank you for
This
coming
session,
on.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
this was so good. Thank you, babe. This is
It
Thank
was
you.
good
yeah.
because you finally got the chance to aim
What?
your bullet at certain people you've always wanted to aim at.
Do you know the funny thing is, like, I'm not aiming my bullet. However, if strays hit people, then I can't blame myself. You to stop moving funny. Is it only you? Now only you I can come. Is it only you?
Wait, you do know some of our audience are from said church?
I'm not involved though.
Okay. So my question is, if all these things are surrounding
my
your
God.
person and you are still there, ask yourself why. Selah.
It is well.
It is well.
All right, let me
It
do my
is well.
spiel.
I'll have you for my vice president because you are bothered that you don't do politically correct. I'm a
Jimmy.
bit more. Yes, da.
Oh, lol. Me,
I'm a bit more
I speak the
politically.
truth. Why? Because I want freedom. Anyway, let me do my spiel. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us once again on another yapping session as we do. Follow us. You know, we're on YouTube now, so subscribe at Banter and Believe. Follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok, where you guys stay dragging us. Let those comments translate into followerships and stuffs, please. Because you guys will share our videos, but you won't follow us.
Hey, God.
But yeah, so follow us on Banter and Believe Pod. Yes, this topic is going online. If they drag me, I don't care. My bills are paid and God is faithful. So I don't care about y'all like that.
Amen.
Till
Amen
next
to that.
time, guys, please stay
Thank you
safe.
for having me.
Stay blessed. Oh, you're welcome, babe.
Thank you.
All right.
Take
Bye,
care.
y'all. Till next time.